Hello again, this is Jungle King 007 back with another video, this time with a 2007 Ford Focus. On the docket today is a manual transmission fluid exchange. This should be a pretty easy one, so let's get started. Alright, let's show you where the transmission in relation to where I'm standing. I am on the passenger side of the vehicle. Obviously you're looking at the engine compartment. Let's go underneath. And that is the transmission. Pretty much dead center on the screen is the fill plug. And if we follow the transmission back a little ways, drain plug's back here. So we're actually going to, first off, pull the fill plug off. Because if you can't get your fill plug off, you don't want to drain it because you can't get the fluid back in. So let's get that fill plug off. Alright, so we got our fill plug here. This is I believe it's an 8mm hex key or Allen key, whichever way you prefer to say it. Now I have pre-loosened these. They weren't too tight, but they don't need to be. So let's go ahead and put that one through. I'll go ahead and unscrew this. Now I'm going to put the drain pan up and underneath it, simply because sometimes these things may be filled too much, or there may just be a little bit over the plug. So let's get this plug out. Alright. There's one plug down. Alright, let's move down to the drain plug. Drain plug, let's pull the drain plug out. Okay, got that loose. Should be able to go right through here and just unthread it. Oh, but just a little bit. I'm gonna let it drain slowly here. There we go. Here's your other plug. And we'll let that drain for a couple minutes. Alright, so now that we've successfully made a mess, let's go ahead and put the fill plug back in. Doesn't need to be too tight, that's good enough. Now let's put the fluid in. Alright, so here's what you're going to need to put the fluid back in, or at least this is my version of it. There's a couple other ways you can do it. They make these little hand pumps you can thread onto the top ends of these things, put the hose right in, and then just pump away. I used a cheap little Harbor Freight hand pump for the Ford Ranger. You can use that, but you kind of do lose a little bit of fluid, so I really wouldn't recommend it, especially with how expensive this stuff is. Around in our area, this stuff was about 23, 24 bucks a quart. So, and you need two of them. If you have an earlier model, I think there was a recommendation. It was 2.1 quarts, so you had to bite the bullet and get a third one just for that 0.1 quart. But they changed it for this one, or actually I think they changed them the entire spec for all of them for 2 quarts. So what I'm using is a funnel, and I'm actually pulling the hose off of that little transfer pump that I got from Harbor Freight and using that. Simply just gonna hook this one in on one end, feed this down through actually where this big funnel is, and is going to try to feed it right into where the hull is. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got our hose routed. Now it's time to fill it up. Like I said, 2 quarts. Let's put that in. Alright, here we go. Have to do this slow. One quart down. Okay, 2 quarts are in. Let's go ahead and remove this guy. Yep. Go ahead and take your plug again. Tighten her up. That would be good. And you've successfully redid your transmission with new fluid. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any comments, questions, feel free to post them in the comments. This is Jungle King 007. See you on the next one. Wanted to do a quick fluid comparison here. What you're looking at, this is some brand new transmission oil. As you can see, it is a very nice clear color. Got a little bit of tint to it because there's obviously some additives in that oil that they use for the transmission fluid. As you see over here, this right here is what was in the transmission. This is about 86,000 miles worth of driving. So as you can see, it looks a bit burnt. It's a bit dark. We don't really want our fluid to look like this because it basically means that the additives that are in there have pretty much worn out. So we want to put this stuff back in so that it gives it the protection that it needs.